Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you like this look and would like to see how it was achieved, please stay tuned and keep on watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. Hello everybody, we are going to jump right in. I am starting off by cleaning my face with the Noxzema wipes. This is a late night get ready with me, so I chose to do voiceover because I am having a conversation and having a little bit of fun with my family. I use the Hydration Happy face mist from Mannakadar, and I received that in a BoxyCharm some time ago. I'm going to start off by sculpting my eyebrows, but I'm going to lay them down with the e.l.f. brow lift. And I have several products that are used to achieve or that are used to lay down your brows, but this is just one that has become a staple in my collection because it is a pretty good product. And I noticed that if I use this product and I lay my brows down and sharpen my brow pencil, my brows come out a little bit more crisper in comparison to using any other products. And I've been thinking about doing a smoky eye. I didn't want to use brown, so I was just playing around with colors, trying to see if I wanted to use green and blue, those colors separately, and then add maybe a black to darken it up. So I finally decided that I wanted to go in with a blue eyeshadow. So I am going to color correct with my Black Radiance corrector, and it's just in the shade orange. And any products that I don't mention on the video, I will make sure that those products are listed in the description box below. And I did something different today. I added a little bit of the corrector to my smile lines, and I'm just going to proceed with blending that product in. And I don't apply a lot, just a thin layer, and then I just blend it in. I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base today. And I normally just apply it to my hands and rub my hands together just to warm it up, and then apply it to my face. And I am using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And I just feel like the Bobbi Brown and the Milk Hydro Grip kind of pair well together. And the brush that I'm using is a BH Cosmetics brush. It came with the Bella set. And the brush is made a little bit differently. It doesn't look like a powder brush or one of the brushes that we would apply eyeshadow with. It's a different texture, so I think that it's actually intended to apply or intended for applying primer. So I have been using that brush a lot lately. And in actuality, I've been using a lot of my products. I did say that this year I wanted to start using the products that I purchased. So I am keeping to that promise and using those items and just playing around to see what I like and what I don't like. And I'm about done with my Milani, well, one of the Milani concealers, the shade 155 Cool Sand. So I'll be using that pretty regularly on the next couple of videos so that I can use it up. And I chose to use the NARS foundation today. I have two shades, and then I also am trying out their powder. And the shades that I have are Kaale and Marquises. And then I also have two shades of Rare Beauty Concealer. And I have that one size cheek clapper palette that I'm going to be using today. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the blush or that highlight shade in there. And I'm just touching the brows to make sure they are dry enough for me to start sculpting them out. And I will be using my Wet n Wild pencil in the shade Simmer Brown now. And I've been starting at the, the tail end of my brow and sculpting that first, and then going in to draw or mimic brow hairs in the front of my brows, and then I just go back in to fill in the sparse areas and to make sure that the brow itself is in the desired shape. And once I sculpt my brows and I go back in to clean it up, I thin out the tail end and make sure it is the length and the size that I want it to be as well. And while I'm sculpting my brows, my sister and I were actually having a conversation about our brows being up higher than the other, and when you do your makeup, trying to do them or get them to be exactly the same, and how difficult that is. I get them as close as I can. And once I'm pleased with them, I just go in and clean them up. So I still have some of that e.l.f. Product on the spoolie, so I'm just mixing that in as I go back in and mix the or blend in the products that are on my eyebrows as well. Going in with that Milani concealer, cleaning underneath. Off camera, I actually went in with a Q-tip with some alcohol on it and got most of the excess product off, and then whatever remains, I use the concealer to remove that or clean that up. And I'm taking a flat brush and just lining my brow to make sure that the concealer underneath it is as straight as possible. And then I'll start blending it in and moving it around. And sometimes you'll see me go in with a smudge brush just to get the concealer as even as possible underneath there and to make sure that it's blended well. But I didn't have one at my actual station, so I just used the products that I had. And it works the same. Gets the job done. Now, I normally don't worry about when I'm sculpting my brows. It looks like a unibrow sometimes, but I go back in and clean it up with my foundation. So most of the time I don't bother with it when I sculpt them, and as I'm cleaning up underneath them, I leave it as is, and I'll clean that up later with my foundation. I also used a eyeshadow primer from Revolution. It's in the shade medium, and I'm just going to put that on the remainder of my lid. I don't know if I'm going to use shimmers or pressed glitters, and just to give me that extra coverage because I'm going in with darker colors. And I want to be able to evenly apply it. I don't want it to be patchy. And I am applying some NARS setting powder to my lids because I know that they crease easily. And I'm applying them with the setting brush that I use from Real Technique. And now I'm just going through some of the palettes that I have with different shades of blue in them, trying to decide on the actual palette or palettes that I want to use. Of course, the Beauty Bay Midnight palette is a gorgeous palette, but that's a palette that I pull from a lot, so I didn't want to use that palette today, but I pulled it just in case. And of course, you know I had to pull my old faithfuls, my palettes from Juvia's Place. And that's one that I pull from a lot as well. And this palette is actually fairly new. I've never used it, but it did have several options for me with blue, and I think there's some purple in this palette as well. So I think I'm gonna play around with that one. And I'm just looking the palette over to see which colors I want to use. The shades that I decided to go in with are, there's a navy blue and a fairy tale. I mixed those two together and I just applied that all over my lid. And I'm right now I'm not blending anything. I'm just applying that color where I want it to go. And I'm going to take Ocean Breeze is the shade that I use to blend those colors out. It's just a hint lighter. So I'm blending that out, making sure there aren't any harsh edges. And then I decided that I wanted to go in with another brush. Because I didn't want the color to look saturated. I just wanted it to look evenly blended. I'm looking at my eyelid because I like for my crease to have a darker shade, or I just like the appearance of darker shades in my crease. So I'm looking over the palette to see what color I can use. And I'm going back in to blend it out to make sure everything is even. And then I'm going to add that darker shade to my crease or outer portions of my eyelid. And it's actually a black shade. The shade name is Moonlight. I'm tapping that on first because I want to see how pigmented the shade is. And then once I see that, I go in and start lightly blending and moving the product to the spaces on my lid that I want it to go. And I like the tone of this black shadow out of that palette because it's not all harsh black, even though it's a darker shade and it is pigmented, it's not a harsh shade. So I was able to actually apply that evenly and it still looks nice. From there, I went into the Juvia's Place I Live, I Love. And I decided that I wanted to use that pressed glitter. It looks like a mermaid shade. It has all different colors of blues and purples in there. I decided that I wanted to pop that on my lid as well. And I'm using that same flat brush that I used to spread the concealer out when I was cleaning underneath my brows. I just sprayed the brush with setting spray before picking up the pressed glitter. And I didn't actually cut my crease. I decided to leave the eyeshadow underneath because when I swatched the pressed glitter on my hand underneath, once I swatched it, I found that it was really thin. So I wanted there to be some I guess, dimension on to that shade. So I wanted to leave that darker shade there. I felt like it would better adhere to that shade and that it would show better. And then I did finish the other eye off camera. Right now I'm just applying the foundation that I decided to use. And I go back and forth between the Kaale and the Marquises. But today I decided to put on the Marquises. And I'm just taking a Real Technique brush and making sure that that product is blended all over my face. And this foundation offers a decent amount of coverage. I am going to go in with just a little bit more in the areas where I feel like it's needed. I find that I don't pull this foundation a lot because it does not have a nozzle or a spoolie or a brush or anything. It's once you open that bottle, it's just the opening and then the product comes out, and I really don't. I would prefer, I guess, not to use products like that. So although I like the foundation, I noticed that I really don't pull these out much. I don't have any problem when I use this foundation with it blending out or creasing or making me look dewy, because I hate to look dewy. I guess I like a little bit of dewy, but I don't like products that make you look wet. I'm just going back in, cleaning up any areas that weren't blended before. And I'm going to go in with that Rare Beauty concealer. Not going to put a lot because I haven't used this in a while and I'm not sure of the coverage. So I'm going to go in with a light layer, and then if more is needed, I'll add it. And I went in with a darker shade first. And then I'm going to pop that lighter shade just in the corners. And then I'll use that little product and just blend it out. And this is the same Real Technique setting brush that I always blend out with and apply my powders with. And I try to blend concealer underneath my eyes last. I try to give it a little bit longer to sit and dry down just a little bit. And I take that brush and I make sure that I'm running that concealer down the sides of my nose, underneath my eyes. And I blend it up in an angle just a little bit to clean up my eyeshadow. And I noticed that I had a little bit of blue eyeshadow on my nose. So I used some foundation to fix that. And I'm just blending that in. I'm going to take some more of the lighter concealer and put a little bit more in the corners. I am going to use some of my LYS products today. I have the powder bronzer in the shade Strength, so I'm going to use that. Haven't used these products in a while either. And I'm using that Morphe brush that I've been using to apply my cream bronzers. I'm going to use it today with this. And this bronzer is a little bit lighter than I would prefer, but I just decided that because my eyes were going to be so bold, I wanted to go in as light-handed as possible, or with more subtle products, I guess I'll say. I'm also going to use my GloWish bronzer in the shade 05 Rich. Just to deepen it up a little bit. And I'm using a different brush for this product. This is normally the brush that I use just to blend in my bronzers. I use one to apply sometimes and another to blend. If I'm using cream products, that I decided to use them today. And I feel like the concealer is dry enough for me to start blending it out. And I actually ended up liking the shade of this concealer because when I initially picked it up, I got home and realized that I picked up the wrong shade, but I kept it because I like the way that it looks underneath my eyes. And I was a little skeptical of this look, but it's coming together really nicely. I am going to set my concealer with that NARS translucent setting powder. And I'm going to let it sit just a moment before I actually start to brush off any excess powder. And I'm just going in with the second layer of the GloWish bronzer and blending it out. And this is a large powder brush that I purchased from Shop Miss A. This is a really soft brush. I've come to like the way that this brush feels on my skin, but I used it just to brush off any of the excess translucent powder. And I decided to use the Sacha Buttercup setting powder to set underneath my contour or bronzing. This is more bronzing. And I'm going to let it sit a couple of seconds. I'm going to contour my nose with the Sephora Make No Mistake foundation stick in the shade Mahogany. And I'm just taking a Real Techniques buffing brush to blend it out with. And then I'm going to take that lighter concealer from Rare Beauty and use that down the bridge of my nose. I have two of the LYS cream blushes. And I can't remember the shade names, but I'll list them down in this description. I was trying to decide which shade I wanted to use, and I wanted to use the one that was more subtle, in my opinion. So I am using a blush brush from Morphe to apply that to my cheeks. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to use a powder to set it with, but I really don't have to, so I decided not to use it. And I'm going to set my entire face with the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, and I have it in the shade 65 Toffee. And to me, these products actually look like they are working well together to kind of blur out my skin. So I'm definitely loving how they work together. And I found a new lip combo, the Sephora Gel Lip Liner in the shade Molasses. I love the way that shade looks as a liner for me. And I think that it'll actually be a good shade to fill your lips in with as well. And then I just used a nude pink matte lipstick that I purchased from Believe Beauty. And these have been my products used for my lip combo lately. I had them in my purse, and then I had to put them back on my vanity because I can use them when I am doing my makeup and getting ready to leave. I wanted to make a statement with my eyes. I also decided that I wanted to make a statement with my lip colors. And I think they pair well together. I am blending in the concealer that I placed down the bridge of my nose. And then I'm going to spray my face with the Charlotte Tilbury, I think it's airbrush setting spray. I'll have the names down below in the description box because I can't remember everything. I decided that I wanted to add eyeliner and mascara instead of putting on lashes. So I used the Tarte Man-Eater mascara on my upper and lower lashes. And I think this is a trial size mascara, but I actually prefer this size because the brush isn't long and I'm able to apply product to my lower lashes without getting makeup or mascara all over myself or sticking myself in the eye. I'm going to use my e.l.f. Satin Ink Liner to line my waterline with. And I'm actually looking for the palettes that I want to, because I decided that I did want to go back in under my lower lash line and add color. So I'm cleaning up. I'm doing a once over for the shades that I blended in. And then I did decide to go into that one size blush palette, but I'm going to use I think it's called Pop Off, the Pop Off shade. I'm using that as a highlighter. So I didn't go as extra as I normally go with my blush, but I was gonna go extra, so I decided to use that highlighter. And I think it worked well with the blush that I used from LYS. Tell me what you all think down in the comments. Did you like the look? What did you think I could add to this? Thank you all for watching. Stay blessed and blushed.